I was really close to my grandfather. He's everything to me and my hero. There are certain places in the United States that a person has to be if they want to play professional music. And for country artists, Nashville is a place. And then after my grandfather passed away, he always fussed about me going to Nashville, ironic. Yeah, even though he wanted me to, but the day he got sick, he told me, he said, you need to go to Nashville. And that was the first time he ever vocally said that to me. But I started flying back and forth each month to Nashville, Tennessee on my own, and taking vocal lessons with Taylor Swift's vocal coach, and starting to interact with some songwriters there. And that was awfully expensive now that I look back at it. But that was kind of my segue into Nashville, and I think that was my beginning of my professional, start of my professional career as my own artist and my own self. Because as an artist, I think you're trying to write and trying to get the best production, and you're trying to put all these pieces together that nobody really realizes you have to do. Everybody, I think, thinks you just get up there and you sing and you play, and that's the deal of it. But when I got to Nashville, I found out that it was so much more the business side than you really realize, and that's what also my grandfather had tried to tell me that. To get more professional, I started reaching out to publishing houses, because in Nashville there's a system, like I would meet, anybody in here like I'd never met before. They set appointments. Publishing houses set appointments for you, and it's like you go each at 9 o'clock you're writing with so and so. After that at 11 o'clock you write with another person you never met. After that at 3, and so you're constantly writing all day, and that's improving your craft, because songwriting is really important in my genre. It's in pop music, it's more the production, I believe, but in country music, it's all about the lyric. And so then I started reaching out. I came across a couple investors that had seen me. I was playing on a famous place, a famous kind of little strip in Nashville, kind of where you hone your, you cut your teeth. Maybe that's the expression, where Keith Urban and Kenny Chesney and these people had played on. And so I was playing there, and that's when I was developing, also, learning about Nashville. I was playing awful hours, like 12 hours a day straight. And they don't take any break. You just play. And so I was doing that, and then touring and playing at festivals and fairs and clubs and stuff, and writing at the publishing houses. And then that led me to managers and booking agents and things on the administration part of it that have to be in place for an artist, if that makes any sense. And also, I think on the business end, also from what I've seen in the music industry, I don't know if the label is as important as it once was, because of Facebook and Spotify and iTunes and YouTube and Tumblr and Twitter and every other tool that you have now. It's like you have so much availability that sometimes you don't even need a label, if depending on what your goal is. If your goal is to get on radio, you do need a label. But if your goal is to be a professional artist and you're not really worried about that, and just sustain a career in it, you can do that with all the outlets that the internet has offered today. Stage It is an idea that was developed by an artist that Jimmy Buffett, I don't know if y'all know him. He's a
producer, is it?
No, he's a famous composer in the United States, but nonetheless, it was a business structure, a model of bringing an online experience, but for a concert. And so basically, it's kind of wild how it works. It's people on Stage It, they buy an online ticket for, I don't know what they call it. They don't call it dollars. They call it something, 5 or 10 tickets. They're just a ticket, I think. 5, 10 tickets. I don't know how much it's actually worth. But basically, you have, I believe, 30 minutes of show time to put on, and then 20 minutes of like an encore. And so I think it's just kind of like you're right here with this going on, and you're literally playing into a camera, and it's really odd. I guess it's the best because, as you know, I think every artist, I would hope they still get nervous, or hope they would still get, you know, that pre-game feeling. And so it's really strange when nobody's there and you can see no one and you're just playing, but you're trying to entertain at the same time. And then, you know, people are requesting, play this, play that, play whatever it is. So for me, it's just, I guess, an avenue to reach out to fans and to be able to play. And also it's wonderful because you don't have to go anywhere. And that's a major, as an independent artist, you really have to have wonderful routing for a tour to be worth it, because there's a lot of you know, expense that goes into a tour. And so I think that's a thing that artists are able to reach out to their fans, and they really don't have to take a loss at anything. It's just a benefit. There are a lot of artists that are really socially connected online, and I don't know if I'm probably not considered one of those, because I don't post every day. I can go quite a while with it, because I've always been more about, this is the artist in me, just more about the music. And I think it's hard for me to adapt to that because I've always played live so much. So I've always had face-to-face, you know, that's how I try to gain the fans, you know what I mean, or gain followers, or whatever you want to call it. But you have more of an advantage when you're already signed to a record label. So, you know, I guess for someone like me, it's like, you know, I've been offered some deals that I didn't think were, because in today's world, it's not advantageous always to have a record deal, because a lot of times, I don't know how it works over here, but you will get signed in Nashville because they think you're a threat to one of their artists. And then it usually takes about at least $1 million to release a first single. And so it takes a couple $1 million out of the gate to get things going. But basically, they'll sign you for 5 years. You can't even, I know some of my artist friends that are signed to deals, and they have the same amount of followers that I do, maybe less. They're not allowed to play. The label doesn't let them perform at all. And literally they're strapped to this label because that label thought they were a threat to someone.